first summer learning program live story time. Now, I've been doing story time since March, but today we kick off our summer learning program themed story times. So for the next 6 sessions, for the next 6 Thursdays, I hope you can join me here during our live story time as we imagine your story. That's this year's theme. We're going to do all things fairy tales and folk tales and nursery rhymes, so I hope you can join us each week. And if you can't watch us live, that's okay. This will stay on our Facebook page so you can watch it later. But I'm so glad to have some of you joining me today right now. So thank you so much for those thumbs up, those hearts, those cares. I really appreciate you joining me today. Now, there's just a little bit of change to my regular story time, but most of it stays the same. Just like, how do we always start story time? We ring the chimes. So let's count to 3 and ring the chimes. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Great, we rang the chimes. It's story time. Yay! And what do we do next? We have to get ready to read. So we're going to put on our glasses. Can you put on your glasses? Great. And you need to put your hands together and make a book. And we're going to open the book. And we read, and look. And then we take off our glasses and we close our book. Let me get my glasses. All right. Are you ready to sing? We're going to do one verse of Lori Berkner's These Are My Glasses. All right, here we go. Get your glasses. These are my glasses. This is my book. I put on my glasses and open up the book. And I read, and I look. I put down my glasses and close up the book. Did you sing along with me? Thank you so much. So we'll do that every time too. So there's one more thing. I told you there's going to be a couple different things for story time, but look who I have. Who do I have here? This is my friend Puss in Boots, and he's a fairy tale friend, and he matches my shirt, and he's going to help me with the last part to get us ready for story time. Can you help me with some listening dust? Great. I'm going to let Puss in Boots. You got it? All right, here we go. Puss in Boots is going to help me give you some listening dust, everyone out there. Oh, there he is. Hello, friends. He's giving you all that listening dust from top to bottom, up and down. There you go. He's going to help me make all of you great listeners. Okay. Are you ready? We got to do our check marks. Did we ring the chimes? Check. Did we put on our glasses? Check. Did we get some listening dust? Check. All right. It's time for our story. All right. Thanks. We'll see you next time. So, to kick off our summer learning, our first week of summer learning story time, I decided to do a fairy tale or a story that you might already know. Have you ever heard of the story of the 3 little pigs and the big bad wolf? The 3 little pigs made houses, and then the big bad wolf comes along and he says, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. Do you know that story? Well, in that story, the bad guy is the big bad wolf. And so I thought, why don't we read the story of the 3 little pigs, but the one where the big bad wolf is not the bad guy? We're going to listen to his side of the story. And so we're going to thank Penguin Books USA. And let's see, our author today, our author today is A. Wolf. So the story's called The True Story of the 3 Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf. The True Story of the 3 Little Pigs by A. Wolf. And it's as told to by Jon Scieszka. And it's illustrated by Lane Smith. And I see that it is backwards on my screen today. So what I will do is I will read it, and then I'll show you the pictures. Are you ready? So let's get our fingers ready. Let's open, shut them. Open, shut them. Give a little clap, clap, clap. Open, shut them. Open, shut them. Fold them in your lap, tap, tap. All right, so the true story of the Three Little Pigs by a wolf. And there's the wolf. Now, everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I am the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf, and you can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. There he is, right there. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. Think of it. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you are big and bad too. But, like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze, achoo, and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Here you go. Now, back in once upon a time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. Oh, that's nice. He's making his granny a cake, but he ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build his house of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, "Little pig, little pig, are you in?" No answer. I was just about to go home without a cup of sugar when my dear old grandma's birthday cake, but that's when it happened. My nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on, and well, I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed. Uh-oh. He huffed, and he puffed, and he sneezed. A great sneeze!
Achoo!
And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down, and right in the middle of the pile of the straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw. So I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger, just lying there. I was feeling a little better, but I still did not have my cup of sugar for my granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next neighbor's house, and this neighbor was the first little pig's brother. And he was a little smarter, but not much, because he had built his house of sticks. And I rang the doorbell, of the stick house, and nobody answered. I called, "Mr. Pig! Mr. Pig! Are you in?" And he yelled back, "Go away, Wolf! You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs of my chinny chin chin." And I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt, uh-oh, another sneeze coming on. And I huffed, and I snuffed, and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze.
Achoo!
And you're not going to believe it, but the guy's house fell down just like his brother's. And when the dust cleared, there was a second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing that I was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still did not have that cup of sugar for my dear Granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house, and this guy was the first and second little pig's brother. And you know what? He must have been the brains of the family, because he had built his house of bricks. So I knocked on the door of the brick house, and no answer. I called, "Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in?" And you know what? You know what that rude little porker said? Do you know what that little rude porker answered to me? He said, "Get out of here! Get out of here, Wolf! And don't you bother me again!" How rude. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me even one little cup. And it's for my dear sweet Granny's birthday cake. What a pig! I was just about to go home and maybe make my Granny a nice birthday card instead of a cake. But then I felt it again. I felt a cold coming on, and I huffed, and I snuffed, and oh no, I sneezed once again.
Achoo!
And then, you're never going to guess, the third little pig yelled, "And your old Granny can sit on a pin." Uh-oh, that's not very nice. How dare that little pig say such a mean thing? Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my Granny like that, I go a little crazy. Oh, and when the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down the pig's door. I mean, the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. He went crazy because the little pig insulted his little Granny. And the rest is, as they say, history. The news reporter found out about the two pigs that I had for dinner, and they figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar did not sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the whole story with a huff and a puff and I'll blow your house down, and they made me, the big bad wolf. And that's it. The real story. I was framed. I was framed. He just wanted a cup of sugar for his Granny, didn't he? But maybe you can still loan me a cup of sugar And that is the true story of the three little pigs. What do you think? Do you think that was true? Do you think that the big bad wolf isn't really that big and that bad? Well, you probably have heard the regular story, but it was fun to read the Big Bad Wolf's version. But I was trying to think of another way we could tell you the story of the three little pigs. So I'm not going to read you the original, but I thought it would be fun if we could do the song Three Little Pigs. And our song today can be found on the Learning Groove, Perfectly Purple, by Mr. Eric and Mr. Michael. So we want to thank them for giving us permission to use their song. It is called The Three Little Pigs. So we're not going to read the original story. We're going to see it and hear it through song. But I can't do it by myself. So, are you ready, my friends? I thought it would be so wonderful if for our very first summer learning story, I would get the Team Harrington Theater Company to help me tell the story. So we're going to set up real quick, and then you're going to get to see my family help me retell this story. Are you ready? Give us 1 second. Here we go. This is the story. This is the story of the Three Little Pigs.
Story of the three little pigs. They had to build themselves a home of their own. Well, the first pig grabbed whatever he saw, built himself a house out of straw. Everything was alright until and he knocked on the door. Boom, boom, boom. And the little pig said, "Who is it?" And the wolf said, "Little pig, little pig, let me in. Little pig, little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. I'm gonna huff and puff a little louder. Oh no, the house came tumbling down. Run! Well, the next pig, I thought he was slick, built himself a house out of sticks. Everything was alright until and he knocked on the door. Boom, boom, boom. And the little pig said, "Who is it?" And the wolf said, "Little pig, little pig, let me in. Little pig, little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. I'm gonna huff and puff a little louder. Huff and puff a little louder. Huff and puff." Oh, the house came tumbling down. Well, the last pig, I knew all the tricks, built himself a house out of bricks. Everything was alright until and he knocked on the door. Boom, boom, boom. And the little pig said, and the wolf said, "Little pig, little pig, let me in. Ooh, little pig, little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. if I were you, I'd build a fire in the fireplace and put a pot of boiling water on it, because here comes the wolf running towards my house. He's going up the side. He's going down the chimney. How's the boiling water? How's the fire? Well, that wolf landed in the boiling water. He shot right back up through the chimney, ran into the woods, and he never bothered them again. And that's the story of the 3 little pigs and the big, bad wolf.
All right, let's hear it. Thank you so much, family. Can you say thank you to the Team Harrington Theater Company? And with everyone here, would you guys mind helping me saying goodbye to our friends today? Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. We're going to scooch that up just a little. All right, now we're going to say goodbye to our friends. Mr. Melissa. All right, so we're going to say goodbye to our friends. Let's start with our alligator. Everyone say,
See you later, alligator.
Toodaloo, kangaroo.
Give a hug,
ladybug.
Blow a kiss,
goldfish.
Out the door, dinosaur.
Bye-bye, butterfly.
See you soon, you old baboon. Woo, 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 woo.
And wave
Wave
goodbye,
goodbye,
dragonfly.
dragonfly.
Bye-bye. All right, just a couple of announcements. Join us next week, next Thursday, where we do live story time again at 1 o'clock. And tomorrow, look for a posting sometime today or tomorrow on social media. Tomorrow is our Robin Hood Day, where I will be riding the library's book bike somewhere local in Huron. And I will be giving out books for free.
For free?
For free. So check your social media pages, and if you're on Remind, you'll get a Remind on that text message app. So that's for all of our friends who are local here in Huron, Ohio. But those of you who are watching anywhere around the world, thanks for joining us today. We do this again next week. I'm so glad you were able to join us today. Team Harrington, can you say bye to our friends?
Bye.
All right, let's sing our song. Make an O with your hands.
Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Goodbye. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Goodbye. Oh, it's time to say goodbye.
Give a smile and wink your eye.
Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks